Hi all, this is Once and Future Gamer, and welcome to another Pokemon Challenge. Last week was an interesting experience as I tromped through Pokemon Emerald with the double team of Makahita and Machop. Today though, we stay in Gen 3 as I answer the question of if I can beat Pokemon Fire Red with just a single Phanpy. Now then, Phanpy. We have a 330 base stat total, with a massive chunk of that being HP. Attack and defense are okay. Special stats and speed are both at 40 each, so a little low, but could be worse. 330 is the same as two Pokemon I've done challenges with before in Weasel and Luvdisc. We are mono ground, so weak to water, grass and ice. We are immune to electric, we resist poison and rock. Looking at our movesets, we don't get much via level up. With the exception of rollout, it's only normal moves, and not particularly good normal moves either, given that they have either less than ideal accuracy or recoil damage, or both in the case of takedown. Via TM and Tutor, we do get some coverage in the form of Iron Tail and Rock Tomb. Rock Smash would be an option if I wanted a fighting move badly enough, though I don't think I'll be that desperate. Return will be useful, and I do hope I get a helpful hidden power. Rock might be ideal. We also get Body Slam via Move Tutor, so, well, there's not much else. We don't even get Rock Slide, which I'm surprised about. And a little worried. Predictions. Brock is going to be irritating with only normal moves, I can tell, but at least we resist the rock-type attacks he's going to throw at us. Misty? Yikes, I'm already worried about that. Erica, I think we should be able to get enough power to do without too much trouble. Lorelei, Agatha and Lance are all going to be horrifying at the Elite Four. Plus, the rival will be rough. The rules. In combat, I can only use Phanpy. Other Pokemon will be needed for HMs, but unable to fight. Only held items and Pokeballs in battle, but I can heal outside of battle. Last of all, no glitches or exploits. This challenge was suggested by Patreon Jason Cabannock. It was originally for Leaf Green, but I already had the Fire Red ROM and there's no battle difference between the games. If you do have any ideas for future challenges, hit the comment section below or follow the links in the description to my Twitter or the Pokemon Challenge section of my Discord. If you do enjoy what you see, like, subscribe and ring that bell. Using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I replaced Squirtle with Phanpy, which will probably give us the hardest challenge. Not only does our rival have Venusaur, but he'll also have two Intimidators in Gyarados and Arcanine, probably giving us the hardest possible outcome, given we are a physical attacker. I get our Phanpy, knowing that we'll have the pickup ability. I nickname her Nelly. It would have been Haffy if she was male. She has the docile nature. I can live with neutral. I'd have preferred Adamant or Jolly, but I can live with this. Before long, we have to battle the rival in the annual contest, who can tackle the one to death the fastest first. We have more health, I'd think, and so we survive a bunch of those tackles, even though there is a speed tie. Sometimes we move first, and sometimes Rod's Bulbasaur does. There is no sort of strategy here. It is literally just keep on tackling each other, and eventually Nelly takes down the Bulbasaur to get an early win on the scoreboard. Grind time then. Speed and physical attack, here we go. It's important that we hit hard and we hit first. Our attack stat is decent, but our speed could be better. So we better build and build it like a maniac. And when we do build up to a certain point, I figure I might as well go and fight the rival on Route 22. Let's go get the party started and all that. When we do begin the fight with the rival, I free hit his Pidgey with Tackle. The damage range not quite enough for a 2-hit, which is unfortunate. Thankfully though, I never get hit with Sand Attack, which would have been unfortunate, given the less than optimal accuracy of Tackle. Next up is that Bulbasaur, who begins growling as we crash into it with more tackles, and it becomes a slower and slower and slower process to knock it out. But the good thing is, it doesn't know any grass moves at this point, so all it can do is tackle us back, and we shrug those blows off to get a win. Brock probably won't be quite so simple though, because we are going to struggle to hurt him, I can already tell. Only normal type moves, plus he can buff his defences. I think he's going to struggle to hurt us, but I'm already prepping mentally to camp down for 5 to 10 minutes before there is any sort of resolution. Or am I? So while grinding, Nellie's pickup ability nets me a hidden power TM, and I can't see any reason to avoid using this. Whatever it is, there's a good chance it's better than normal type for attacking Brock. So I use the TM to learn the move and then try to see what it is. I get an answer immediately as I try to use it on a Rattata and it fails miserably. So it's Ghost type. That might not be that bad actually, because ghost damage was physical in this gen and we are a physical attacker. That's definitely going to be better versus Brock. Plus, we don't get much that can hit ghost types. Oh, it'll be useful against Misty too, particularly if we don't get one shot by her Starmie. Plus, I was wondering how to hurt ghost types later on, but it solves that issue. That's thinking very far ahead though, and first we have to take on Brock. This still probably won't be swift, but I suppose it beats the alternatives by a lot. Thanks to Geodude using a defense curl, it takes 4 ghost type hidden powers to take it down. It survives the third on a sliver. I can't help but feel like the tone of the fight is set when it hits a crit at the start, but thanks to our high health and okay defense, we stick it out and take that Geodude down eventually. Onix takes even less damage from hidden power, but still probably many times more than it would from tackle. On the plus side, it can barely hurt us with a tackle of its own or Rock Tomb, the speed drop being the most annoying thing about getting hit with that move. We do get a crit towards the back end of the fight, so once we get that, it's an easy task to drop the Rock Snake down hard. Then it's Mount Moon, where I go exploring, all in the name of getting to the other side. There's some corridors where there is nothing in there but Paras, and Paras give attack EVs, and so I do a bit of grinding down there to increase our attack stat before heading across the rest of the mountain and leaving a trail of unconscious Pokemon in my wake. Also fossils, they have those here. I took the Dome Fossil and moved on, largely because I wanted to be different. Once I get to Cerulean City, it's not even a choice between the rival and Misty. I'm going to hit that rival first, because I don't think we'll be ready for her. Just a feeling. The rival fight goes ridiculously well. We one-hit Pidgeotto with takedown before it can start spamming Sand Attack. Bulbasaur is next, and we down it the same way. That's his 2 most dangerous Pokemon down. What are the chances takedown hit twice in a row? It's a minor miracle, I guess. I suppose that training in Mount Moon was a good thing. Abra goes down to tackle before Rattata is out last, and we very quickly do the same in short order, tackling it down. We are level 30. I suppose I could try Misty and see how we do, just purely out of curiosity. The gym trainers are not a problem. Neither is Misty's Staryu really. We one-hit it with takedown to give us an early win in the fight. The issue though, as expected, and as is usually the case, is her Starmie. It is faster than us and causes big damage with Water Pulse, which isn't ideal. Our hidden power puts it on red health and I mess up. I am expecting it to finish us off, so I call for tackle, but she heals it, and though our tackle crits it, we do get knocked out with Water Pulse on the next turn. My mistake aside, that was closer than I would have thought it would be. I make another try shortly after with another 2 levels under my belt. If we can one-hit Starmie, that would be absolutely fantastic. Let's see if this comes off or not. Well, I had nothing to worry about. Our takedown doesn't miss against Staryu, even though I'm expecting it to, because that move is trash. However, we do get hit by Water Pulse from Starmie. We survive it without being confused, which was also what I was expecting to happen. Then we down Starmie with a crit hidden power. Cool! Next major fight is the rival one aboard the SS Ant, and I'm ready for him. We shouldn't have any issues here, I suppose. It will be the next one when things start to get interesting. Anyhow, we have rollout now, so I go into one versus Pidgeotto and we clatter it down out of the sky with that single hit, despite it landing a quick attack. Ivysaur is next, rollout doesn't miss and we knock it out. Raticate is next, rollout doesn't miss and we hit it hard before Kadabra is next, and given rollout doesn't miss, it fares about as well as the previous 3 did before going down. Electric Gym time then. You'd think we'd have an easy time here, and on paper, you might be right. The problem is, we don't have any ground type moves, but at least we're immune to being electrocuted, so that's something. but not to the static ability. I need to remember that. I go for hidden power throughout since it doesn't require making contact. And if we don't get paralysed, I think we'll be fine. Both Voltorb and Pikachu are one hits with hidden power, which makes the first 2/3 of the fight simple. Raichu, though, survives hidden power and tries to save itself with double team and a super potion. Not that it does Surge much good, as our second hidden power lands and ends the Raichu as a threat. That was simple, time to move on. I work through Rock Tunnel and eventually end up in Lavender Town, where I go to pick up the return TM and decide to go and pick a fight with the rival in Pokemon Tower. Because, why not? Seems like an optimal time to do it. I don't use the return TM yet, but I really should. Anyway, we get hit by Pidgeotto's quick attack and then miss rollout. Uh-oh. Thankfully, it doesn't matter, as we are faster next turn and we land that rollout. Ivysaur survives our second rollout and hits Razor Leaf for big damage, but the third rollout knocks it out. Fourth rollout absolutely ends Gyarados despite us being intimidated, before the fifth one smacks out Growlithe and there's only Kadabra left. Thankfully, our hidden power takes that out to give us an easy win. I enter Celadon City and it's a choice between Giovanni and Erika. I pick Giovanni first because he'll probably be somewhat easier than the super effective Grass Gym. We go through the Rocket Hideout, we fight our way up to him and then get it underway. I still bear some Giovanni scars from the yellow with Doduo run and I'm keen to heal them. Onix is a free hit, 2 hidden powers and 1 return downing it. We hit it, but not hard, put it that way. I am glad when it finally gets wrecked. Rhyhorn is a 2 hit with hidden power, only landing a scary face in retaliation. Kangaskhan is last. It hits a bite that doesn't flinch us before surviving our return. It then lands Mega Punch on Nelly. Punching an elephant is like one of the meanest things you can do, and we duly get our revenge with a second return to take it out. I might as well make a stab at Erika while I'm here, I guess. I'm a little leery. I try the rollout strategy in the gym with the trainers. Well, it's not so much a strategy as using a move and hoping it hits 5 times in a row, but instead I decide to just try and brute force her. Victory Bell is a 1 hit with return, which is good. We land a return on Vileplume out next, and the move crits, which is fortunate because I don't know if we one-shot otherwise. The AI obviously sent it in second for a reason. Tangela goes down to return 2, faring no better. Let's move on. While I am in Pokemon Tower, here is some trivia about Phanpy. It's seen as a parallel to Teddy Ursa. They were both version exclusives when they first appeared in Gen 2. Indeed, the version exclusive they appeared in was swapped around between the Japanese market and the Western market. They also both have pickup as an ability and lose it on evolution. Ash Ketchum had a Phanpy in the anime, later evolving into a Donphan, and it was the first ground type he ever caught, as well as it being the first to hatch from an egg. When I'm finished with Pokemon Tower, I head to Sylph and get that out of the way, fighting every rocket that I can. These vanish after the defeat of Giovanni, so I want to fight them while I can. It's not long before I get to the fight with the rival, and this one could be tricky, given this is where his team gets really scary. We will just have to see what happens. Pidgeot is a 1 hit with return. Great start. Venusaur goes down to a crit return, and that is massive because I don't think we 1 hit it without the crit. We miss our first rollout on Gyarados and then have to wind back up again for another effort at it. Thanks to Intimidate, our first one does about a quarter and the second one leaves it hanging on with a sliver, all while it tries to bite us, but the third one clocks it out. Growlithe intimidates us a second time before we hit it with our 4th rollout. Alakazam would probably get folded like a lawn chair with the 5th rollout, but it doesn't connect, forcing us to knock it out with return and hidden power, while it counters with Future Sight and Calm Mind. That was smoother than it had any sort of right to be. Giovanni is up next again, and this one can be awkward given there's poison capability in his team, so I do need to be careful. especially when it comes to moves that make contact. Getting poisoned versus his Nidorino would be a very bad thing, so I shoot it down with 2 hidden powers, all while it misses Fury attack. I go into rollout versus Kangaskhan, the first one being shrugged off, the second one doing a lot more damage, while the third one finishes it off as it goes for Rage. Going for Rage is always going to be a risky strategy, even if it isn't quite as trash here as it is in Gen 1. Rhyhorn goes down to the 4th and 5th rollout, missing a Rock Blast in exchange before Nidoqueen is last. I fire a hidden power at her and she counters with Poison Sting. There are no prizes for guessing exactly what happens when she does, as Poison takes hold and puts us on a timer. She survives return and hits double kick before we finish her with hidden power. And that is that. The Saffron City Gym is next and I go after Sabrina, reasonably confident in our capacity to beat her. Her Pokemon are relatively frail and we can hit like a demolition ball, especially if we wind up into a rollout. I might do that, you know. It'll crush her Venomoth, that random Pokemon there's no earthly reason why she should have, unless it's Terrestrialized Psychic type. That's one way to retcon something. Anyway, Kadabra survives rollout and goes for Future Sight before she heals it. Our second rollout wrecks it completely. Our third rollout goes straight over Mr. Mime before it can build an invisible wall. Venomoth gets sparked out by the 4th rollout. We're even benefited by the Future Sight failing before the 5th one crashes into Alakazam and breaks it to give us the 5th badge. I head south next to Future City, and after an exploration of the Safari Zone, I head off to face Koga for the 6th badge. We have a similar issue here as we did versus Lieutenant Surge, a type advantage but with no moves to take advantage of it. Even if we did have a ground move, 3 of his 4 Pokemon are immune, so it's not as if it matters. Brute Force then. Coughing number 1 gets smote by a crit return. I don't think the crit was necessary there, and I'd much rather have gotten it on the next opponent as Muck comes out. It survives return on a sliver of health and goes for Acid Armour before he heals it. I sigh and then wear it down with 2 more returns, all while it goes for Minimise. We drop it into red health once again. He then heals it once more and hits us with a sludge attack that of course poisons us as we down it with 2 more returns and a hidden power. At least our attacks never missed. That would have been pretty bad. Coughing number 2 is a 1 hit with return, and Wheezing goes down to a single crit return to give us the Soul Badge. 6 down and 2 to go. I go to Cinnabar Island next, and while I explore Pokemon Mansion, let's talk about what's ongoing on the channel. In the week just gone, there's been more episodes of the Pokemon Violet playthrough, episodes 10 through 13, as we go through the Fire Team base, the Grass Gym and the Sky Titan. I'm still enjoying the game, I'm still playing it, still recording when I get the chance. I'm blitzing through it, getting something approaching a settled team now I guess. Still something I wouldn't mind using though I haven't had the chance to acquire it yet. There was also episode 8 of Skyward Sword, where we arrived at the volcano, and episode 18 of the Resident Evil Revelations 2 playthrough, which was also the finale. Next week, it will be the first episode of my playthrough of the RE1 remake. I really need to get back to playing both of those games at some point. I've been rather preoccupied with Pokemon Violet. Oh well, I'm sure nobody's going to hold it against me. Next week's challenge will be Pokemon Silver with a single Stantler. That'll be on Christmas Eve. The week after, for New Year's Eve, I decided will be Pokemon Black with a single Ordino. So, I make a return to DS era challenges for the first time since September. First one of the new year? I have no idea. Probably something in Gen 1. That's a very deep future problem. If you have any ideas for future challenges, drop them in the comments section below, or follow the links in the description to my Twitter or my Discord. Also, if you want to support the channel in a more physical way, there is a link to my Patreon down there. But either way, if you're here and watching, thanks a lot from the bottom of my heart. Back to the action. It's time for Blaine, and I think I've got a plan. Well, it's more about using rollout and hoping for the best, if I'm honest, but given we're going to be facing 2 Intimidates, can you blame me necessarily? Anyway, As he starts and he promises me that I'm going to need Burn Heal, I wonder if I've ever actually used Burn Heal in a Pokemon game. Same as an Ice Heal if I'm honest. First rollout hits Growlithe and it survives to hit Fire Blast. We shake it off as he heals and our second rollout takes it out. Our third rollout smashes into Ponyta and downs it hard before the Rapidash comes out next, and our fourth rollout crunches into it and sends it to the glue factory. Arcanine is last and it gets overwhelmed by our fifth rollout. I know they say every dog has his day, but that isn't today for Arcanine. 7 badges down. Round 3 versus Giovanni then. I rush back to Viridian City and enter the gym to confront him, all with the intent of getting his badge. This was the battle that gave me real trouble in my last Kanto challenge, but I don't expect as many problems this time though. It is brave of him to claim he's the greatest trainer to someone who beat him twice already, but oh well. We crit a hidden power on Rhyhorn, but it survives and goes for Scary Face. He heals it, but we can hit it with 2 more hidden powers to take it down, though the damage is done as we're now slower than most of the rest of his team. Dugtrio hits an Earthquake, which we shrug off and down it with Return. Nidoqueen hits 2 Earthquakes, but again, we don't really take a massive damage from them. Plus, with health recovery, we can survive nicely before 2 hitting her with Hidden Power. Nidoking is also a 2 hit with Hidden Power, but it also hits us with 2 Earthquakes before his second Rhyhorn is last. This is a 3 hit with Hidden Power, but we get hit with another Scary Face. Even though we are at -4 in speed, we are still faster than Rhyhorn, and even though we do have to shrug off another Earthquake, we down it fast. I get the Earthquake TM now, and that is massive. Let's move on. It's not long after that I have a rivalry match on Route 22, and it doesn't seem like 2 minutes since we were fighting him here at the start of the game. Well, actually, it was less than a day ago for me in real time, so anyway, Pidgeot survives Return and hits a Wing Attack, but I'm going to roll out and finish it. That same rollout crashes into Venusaur, who then uses Razor Leaf. It crits and 1 hits us from pretty much full health, which is the first time I actually think Nelly got knocked out in this run. Oh well, we didn't do bad there for longevity. Let's try this again. That was pretty unlucky, I must say. Anyway, our luck doesn't get any sort of better in the second attempt, as we crash a rollout into Pidgeot and then get hit with Feather Dance. That is a scary prospect. Although we do down it quickly with the second rollout, Venusaur tanks our third rollout and hits a Razor Leaf that does over half our health. Thankfully, it doesn't crit this time though, and our fourth rollout takes it out. Whew! Our fifth rollout crashes into Gyarados, and we do down it, though our attack gets cut even more by Intimidate. Rhyhorn is next, and we down it with Earthquake, before Growlithe comes out and abuses our attack stat even more, but we still take it out with Earthquake. Alakazam is last, and I throw another Earthquake at it. This one crits, and we take Alakazam out for the count to give us the win. That could have gone nastily, and I'm a little worried about the Elite Four now. I fight through Victory Road, and as I stand at the Indigo Plateau, here are Nelly's stats. These are pretty decent if I'm honest. They're definitely better than what I'm used to dealing with, especially when the last Fire Red run with Cleffa comes to mind. We're level 78 and have decent HP and attack. Defense and speed are both okay. I am worried about the special defense though, I do have to admit. Lorelei could be awful, but we knew that already. Take your guesses on whether I can do it at this level or not. Now, on the subject of Lorelei, let's go for it. I can try it and see how we do. If I can get a rollout going, we might be fine. I could do with Dugong going for Hail or Safeguard at the start while we get 2 rollouts going, because not a chance we one hit it. If it starts hitting us with super effective attacks off the bat, we are in for a rough time. Rollout doesn't help as much. The first one crits on Dugong, but I'm not actually sure that in the end the second one does that much more damage because of it. It takes 3 of them to take Dugong down, thanks to Lorelei dropping a heal on it. We also get hit by a Surf for slightly over half our health, which isn't ideal. Cloyster keeps spamming Protect to stop our rollout, which is annoying. Our Earthquake does about 3/4 of its health in damage, but I want the rollout going to deal with her later Pokemon, particularly Lapras. That thing worries me. It takes several turns, but eventually we knock Cloyster out with the first round of rollout. The bad news is that Slowbro comes in, tanks 2 turns of rollout, and takes us out with 2 Surfs. Yikes, I definitely say that's not good. I suppose I should go back and grind then. I make another crack at her at level 80. I might go for Earthquake a bit more on this effort. Hit some power moves. That might be a better option. Anyway, I go on to one-hit Dugong with Earthquake, and in the next round, I tread carefully versus Cloyster as I 2-hit it with Return. It only uses spikes in exchange. Slowbro survives an Earthquake and goes for Amnesia, and I call for Rollout. Getting hit with Surf, but I do knock it out with 3 uses of the move. Rollout screws me though when it misses versus Jinx, and as a result, we go down to an Ice Punch. I definitely feel like we're not that far off doing some serious damage, i.e. one-hitting Slowbro. Let's get a few more levels and then we should be cooking with gas. I head back in at level 84, feeling confident. Let's not screw around with Rollout this time. That's what I tell myself as I enter. Will I stick to it? Let's find out! Anyway, Dugong is still a one-hit with Earthquake. I call for that same move versus Cloyster, but she rather cheaply goes to Protect, costing me a power point. We hit it at the second attempt before finishing it with Return. Earthquake drops Slowbro's health low while it goes for Amnesia. She heals it and I down it with 2 hidden power attacks. Jinx is a one-hit with Return. It has pretty low physical defense, so not a surprise. We hit Earthquake on Lapras and do about 3/4 of its health before it hits Ice Beam to do well over half our health. Her Lapras eats a berry and I call for another Earthquake to finish it because I don't want to take chances on Return not ending it. Go for the kill, I guess. That's 1 down. Bruno should not be a problem. Those might be famous last words, I guess. Actually, there is one heart-in-mouth moment. He begins with his first Onix and we down it with Earthquake. We have to do the same to his second Onix and I'm not too fussed about the Earthquake PP. We'll not really need it again until the champion fight. Hitmonchan is next and I put it on red health with Return. But what happens next is terrifying as it goes for counter. We survive with about 40 HP left. I'm glad we have got a lot of health. He heals it, but we take it down with 2 more returns. Hitmonlee is a one-hit with Return. Machamp survives Earthquake and goes for Scary Face before lamping us with Cross Chop. Thankfully though, the berry takes it out of healing range and we finish it with Return. Phew! Crisis averted. Agatha then. It's hidden power time. Golbat and Arbok shouldn't be too bad. I just hope we outspeed her Gengars or it could be trouble. We do outspeed the first Gengar and down it with hidden power for a swift win. Given it likes a double team, I'll take that. Golbat survives Return and hits Bite. I know she's going to heal and that we are faster, so I knock it out with a 1-2 combo of hidden power and Return. Haunter goes down to hidden power before she goes for a second Gengar who is faster than Nelly and hits a Shadow Ball which we shrug off. We have decent defense and Gengar is not a physical attacker. It survives hidden power narrowly and when she heals I pray for a better damage roll and I get it to get the knockout. Arbok is last and we down it with Earthquake. 3 down, 1 to go, or technically 2 I guess. Lance then. Let's see how we fare here. Gyarados will be rough with the Intimidate, but I don't believe it has any water moves. Rollout might be needed for Aerodactyl and Dragonite. Let's see. This fight actually goes incredibly well. We hit Gyarados with Return for about half while it goes for Dragon Rage. I go into a rollout and tank a Hyper Beam from the Big Serpent. 2 rollouts take it down hard and that's 1 down. He rather helpfully sends his Aerodactyl in next and though it lands Wing Attack, the 3rd turn rollout steamrollers it. Even more helpfully, he goes to Dragonite next and our 4th turn rollout wrecks it hard. That was very obliging of him. His first Dragonair gets nailed by the 5th turn of rollout to go down before his second Dragonair is taken out with a crit Earthquake. That was smooth. I wonder if the final fight will be as smooth. I do have a lot of rare candies, so I'm going to see how this goes, but if I need to increase the level, I do have the option. Anyway, Pidgeot is faster than us, but we only get hit with 2 aerial ace attacks, so that is fortunate. We can shrug those off and 2-hit it with return. If it had been Sand Attack or Feather Dance, I wouldn't fancy our chances. The only grass move Venusaur knows is Solar Beam, I believe, so while that would probably be fatal, we do get a chance to 2-hit it with return. Next is Gyarados, and unlike Lancers, Rods actually knows a water move. We can survive 1 hit, but it tanks our return and rollout, and we don't survive a second Hydro Pump and we lose. Right, I'm going to boost my level up to 90 and we'll try it there. I think I need to be 3 or 4 rollouts in going into Gyarados, so let's look to try and achieve that. The next effort goes badly as we get sand attacked by Pidgeot and duly miss 3 rollouts on Gyarados plus 1 on Venusaur that would have been the 4th hit. Let's try that again. It takes several attempts and I make many false starts, so many of them failing before they've even really begun, thanks to Pidgeot using Sand Attack and or Feather Dance. With the lowered attack we have no chance, with the lowered accuracy we really have no chance. Eventually though, I get a run where stuff goes to me. We hit rollout 1 on Pidgeot and it goes for Aerial Ace, thankfully, rather than a debuff. Our second rollout downs it. That's good. Venusaur survives rollout 3 and begins to charge Solar Beam, but rollout 4 downs it to my relief. This is the knife edge. 1 miss and it's over. Gyarados comes in, we outspeed and 1-hit it with rollout 5. That's his deadly core down. We should be fine now. Alakazam is faster, which surprises me, and rather unfortunately goes for Reflect, even though we 2-hit it with Earthquake. The damage has been done though. We do less than half on Rhydon with Earthquake, and we have to wear it down over and again after he heals, but when the Reflect finally does go down, we do claim a victory. His Arcanine is last and it outspeeds thanks to a Scary Face hitting from Rhydon, landing a Flamethrower for over half our health. But when we do get the chance to attack, our Earthquake 1-hits it, which I'm surprised by. Oh well, I'll take it though. With that, we've won the run and we duly get to enjoy the look of crushed disappointment on our rival's face as we enter the Hall of Fame, and Nelly and I are forever immortalised. Well, that was an interesting run. Enjoyable for sure. Phanpy isn't bad, I'll say that. Nowhere near as bad as it could have been. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, smash the subscribe button to keep involved in what's going on with the channel. If you have any ideas for future challenges, drop them in the comment section below, or follow the links in the description to my Twitter or my Discord, or, as aforementioned, the Patreon. Thank you so very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for taking the time to come sit on my little channel, see what we're doing. Join me again on Christmas Eve for next week's Pokemon Challenge as we see if I can beat Pokemon Silver with a single Stantler. Sure to be festive fun. The words ho 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 spring to mind. What's going on with me? Well, at the time of this premiering, I'm glad to be at a Christmas market with the woman I've been dating, unless anything goes badly wrong between the time of recording and time of going live. So yeah, looking forward to that. Plenty of new possibilities ahead, and it looks like 2022 is going to end on a positive. I'm going to jump off here. As always, folks, this has been Once and Future Gamer. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and have a great day. I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.